I do welcome you. And I say a big cheers to each and every one of my trading friends out there getting up every day, fighting that good fight. Just trying to get your little slice of the pie. Welcome to Happy Hour with the Lincoln. We're on episode number 42, where each week I'll do my best to answer your stock market related questions while I share a dram of my favorite whiskey. In the glass today, for you bourbon lovers, we have a little bit of Woodford Reserve. I don't drink bourbon very often, but a little Woodford Reserve in here, it's not too bad. As always, if you have questions related to stock trading or trading in general, send over support@thelincolnlist.com. And if you need help trading, visit our live trade room right here and trade live with us each day. Now, I want to maybe give you a little apology before I start because it is freaking molten lava hot in San Diego right now. It's mid-April. And it is 97 degrees as I'm doing this, and with the light shining, I got the AC cranked up, and I might start sweating a little bit, so I'm just kind of forewarning you. If later on I'm just kind of drenching, it's not because I'm getting into it, it's just freaking hot here. Now I'm going to step outside of the old comfort zone, outside of the box today, because I got some interesting questions I'm going to throw your way. So let's just get started. On question number 1, I wanted to ask about taxes. Do you file quarterly, yearly? Can I write off my losses if I claim I am a trader? This is my first year trading and I don't know how I should file. Well, obviously this is a good question and it's very timely because as I'm doing this, it's like April 13th, so we're really close to tax day. So obviously getting a lot of questions about taxes. Now I'm going to be honest and say I'm probably one of the lesser qualified people to answer this question for you. I mean, I'm so Neanderthal when it comes to my taxes. I basically just take all of my books and receipts and I put them in a shoebox. Yes, a shoebox. And then I go down to my accountant's office and just drop them on the desk. I mean, that's what they get paid for, right? It's their specialty. That's what they do for a living. I let them go to work. Now, obviously, over the course of many years owning my own business, being a trader for 20 years, I have naturally learned a few things about taxes. So to answer the first question, you only file yearly. But if you are a 1099 employee of any kind, it doesn't even have to be trading. If you're just a 1099 employee of any kind, you have to make monthly or quarterly payments to the IRS, estimated tax payments. You'll get a penalty if you don't. And it's not so much because of the penalty, because it's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. The more important part of it is that by the end of the year, you may end up owing a lot of money to the government and you might not have it because, you know, you start making money. Let's say you're a new trader, you start dominating it, you're making some bank. You go out, you get the Lambo, right? You buy the Rolex. You're chilling, you're taking the lady or ladies, you're taking your man out for dinner, you're drinking the fine wines, eating the caviars and all that stuff. And then at the end of the year, the government's like, hey man, you owe us 30 grand. And you're like, shouldn't have bought that Lambo. So never get behinds on the government's payments. It's not really, if you got to owe somebody money, that's not really the place that you want to owe any money to. But you do have to file, you just file yearly, but you should, if you can, pay monthly. I think you do have to, it's quarterly bare minimum, I think, if you get a penalty if you don't. But try to make those estimated tax payments. Now, the next one here is a little bit more complicated. Can I write off losses if I claim I am a trader? Well, you can write off some of your losses, obviously not all. I think the amount is $3,000. If you're a trader, that's not going to amount to a whole lot. There's a very gray area in here is what's calling someone a trader. Now, there's nothing that will stop you from going down and getting an LLC or a corporation, starting it in trading and starting to write off things that you have, which you can legitimately do, such as computers, if you take training courses, if you buy DVDs, if you are a member of a trade room or a chat room, or you attend expos, or you have scanning software, that stuff can be a tax deduction for a trader. However, when I say a gray line, the gray line is what the IRS actually calls a trader. Now, they consider it to be someone who trades every single day of the week. So you could trade 3 days a week and be very profitable, and you still may not be considered a trader. So that's something important to look at. Now, obviously, this comes down to a judgment call because in the worst case scenario, you would get audited. Then, you know, you'll have to sit down in front of an IRS auditor and you'll have to explain to them and show them the paperwork. And it's going to be the judgment call on their part as to whether or not they agree with you or they don't. And obviously, that's something that you don't want to have to deal with, but that's something that definitely could happen. But if you can become a trader, you did get trader status, you do have some advantages. You can write off things, so certain like commissions, certain losses, you know, computer equipment that you buy. If you're working from home like I do, you can take a percentage of the square footage that you have in your house. Like I said, scanning software, expos, travel, all that stuff. So it can't. Now, if it's your first year of trading, that's probably not really what you need to worry about unless you're really banking it right now. And say if it's just your first year of trading, your biggest issue is like year 2. Just try to make it to year 2. Do that, okay? So I hope that kind of helped you out with some of your tax questions. Again, I'm not a qualified accountant by any means. You should always consult someone in your area. But one piece of advice I should give before I move to the next question, the biggest piece of advice, is definitely go out and find yourself a accountant that handles trading businesses, that understands traders. There's a lot of them out there. If you're in Southern California, you need someone, I'll steer you in the right direction. Very important to do that because they understand the kind of business that you're in, and they know what you can and you can't do, and they'll maximize your deductions, and that's what you're really looking for. So let's move on to number 2. Question number 2. Doug, loving the videos. They are helping me daily. I did want to ask, in your recent happy hour, you answered a question about the worst mistake you ever made in trading. So I wanted to add some positivity by asking you, what was the best decision you ever made in trading? You obviously lasted a long time, so I'm guessing you did a lot right to get where you are. Okay, well, that's very nice of you. Yes, I have done a few things right. Now, I'm going to answer this question the same way as I answered the question about what was my worst mistake. And when I answered that question, I said, I really don't know. I made so many bad mistakes. I can't just pinpoint one thing and say, that was the worst thing I ever did. And it kind of the same goes for what was the best decision. Well, I really don't know because I have made quite a few good decisions. And I can't pinpoint to any one specific trade. A lot of people ask me that. Was there an aha moment? Was there one single trade that you said, okay, now I'm a legit trader? And the answer for me is no, not at all. There was never an aha moment. You just sort of kept doing what you were doing, and then all of a sudden you became profitable, and then you became successful, and it was just a product of many years of doing the same thing over and over again. So I can't just pinpoint one thing, but if I can say that there is something, that answer would be that I never quit. That I never quit trading, because back in 2001, 2, 3, and probably an early portion of 2004, I had every reason to quit. I was not profitable. I was damn near losing money almost every single day. I was making the people around me an emotional wreck because I was a total asshole. I was just flying off the handle all the time, and I was miserable. So, I mean, I had every reason to quit, and I think I got up every day and said I was going to quit. I wrote it down on pieces of paper. I'm quitting. This is my last day trading. I sent myself emails saying, you suck. I'm never trading stocks again. So, I mean, there wasn't one leg I had to stand on other than pride and ego to keep me in the trading business. And honestly, as I look back, seriously, I can't tell you why I did stay, because I really should have left. I mean, I was just destroying everything around me. I was running out of money. I lost my motorcycle store. You guys heard all that story before. I mean, it was a spiral down. I have no idea what the turnaround point was specifically, but I had every reason to quit. And that would be my number one thing, is that I didn't quit. For some reason, I found a way to survive. I learned. I eventually learned from my mistakes, from doing it over and over again. And then, I turned my life and career around from those moments. But there wasn't a specific, ground zero for that. It was just a little step-by-step process. So that would be my best decision I made, was to actually stay here, because here I am now. Life is good this way. I love it, and I'm glad I did stay. So maybe you're somebody out there that's feeling that way. There's hope. There's hope. All right, let's move on to question number 3. Hey, boss, you always have a drink in your hand. Do you drink during trading hours? I was going to try it to calm my nerves, LOL. Wondering if you did it. Who, me? Drink? Okay, in all seriousness, of course you have a little shot when you do some happy hour, It's just a shtick. Is that how you say it? Just my little skit I got going on here. But no, I don't do anything like that during business hours, because any type of drug for most people, liquor, weed, other stuff, it impairs your ability to make decisions, your reflexes and all that kind of stuff. That's why you don't drink and drive. So if you don't drink and drive, you don't drink and trade either, because you need to have optimum focus to make money. You need to be on your game, you need to be fast, you need to be nimble, and stuff like liquor and other drugs will impair you. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there, you know who you are, you got to get up every day, you got to have maybe a shot, maybe you got to toke a little. Some people are like that. Everybody has a fix. I have coffee. I got to get up every morning, I got to have coffee. I know coffee isn't classified with marijuanas, but it's the same, I consider it a drug because it's a fix. You got to have it to get up every morning. However, I would say that any drug, I can't condone the usage of it whatsoever. It's not, take down your nerves a little bit, but you're probably going to take down your account with it at the same time, because you're not going to be completely focused. And I think most of you know that. Definitely don't do anything. This is just to take the edge off after a long week of trading, and this is right where it stops. You don't do it during business hours, man. You got to make money. You got to be 100% focused. You got to be on your game. Winners got to have clear minds, because you get all upset. You know, you go through some emotions. You got to be in your best. Be on your best behavior. Got to have your best kind of faculties up there. So anyway, that's why I'm going to call it quits on today's happy hour. We talked about the taxes. We talked about what was my best decisions I ever made trading. And of course, I don't drink while I trade. Don't drink and trade, kids. And I managed, I think, not to pour down with too much sweat, even though it's smoking hot in here. Anyway, guys, as always, if you need help, visit thelincolnlist.com. Trade with us. Trade with us live. Until the next happy hour, thanks for watching. And where's my glass? Cheers to you.